Welcome back to the Genre Quest, a series where I review one album from every single genre listed on albumoftheyear.org. And today, we're going to be taking a look at the E genres, from EDM all the way to experimental. Now, you might be wondering, why exactly am I outside? Well, pretty simple. In the last episode, I went to jail for killing myself. Long story. And it turns out I actually got freed because it's not actually a real jail cell. Must not have had the budget or something. And now I guess I'm waiting to be put in an actual cell. I don't really get it. So yeah, now I'm outside because I don't actually have any feasible way to get home since I don't exactly have this thing called a license yet. So I ordered an Uber. They said they're gonna take a while, and I might as well bang out another Genre Quest video while I'm here. I've got the tripod, I've got the phone, I've got the script. And for anyone asking why my hair was so long back there, prison changes a man, okay? That's just kinda how it works there. Anyway, on to the video. Welcome to my tutorial on how to effectively create a Kygo album. Follow these steps and you'll see yourself pumping out chart toppers, and to a lesser extent, an album, in no time. Step 1. Start with a single instrument or a singer's voice with said instrument. Sort of a fade-in, if you get what I mean. Step 2. Make sure your singers stand out in no way whatsoever, and maybe use some whisper pop singers to chase those trends. It's either whisper pop singers, or singers that really like over-singing. Or Whitney Houston. Step 3. The first verse is about 8 bars. The last 4 bars are going to build up to the pre-chorus as more instrumentation starts to appear. Maybe a drum beat or something. Step 4. Now we've hit the pre-chorus. The pre-chorus is usually about 8 bars, with the last 4 having slightly more instrumentation and a slight drum beat. Make sure that the 3rd and 6th bar always have a different melody to the rest, and the 4th and 8th call back to the first one with the same lyric and the same melody. Really important right there. Step 5. Make sure the first pre-chorus doesn't fade into the big EDM drop, and instead just go back to another verse and pre-chorus. Then we get to the magic. Now we've arrived at the drop, maybe a slight build up for 8 bars, including some vocal chopping. They'll all have the same exact 4-chord melody and have a severe overuse of the sidechain effect. Number 1 rule of Kygo's music, always use sidechains. Step 7. Finally, either end the song with the last line in the pre-chorus that's probably been repeated throughout the drop, or have a soft 4 bars of singing and a piano melody in the background. And finally, repeat 17 times to create an album. Truly a modern innovator. This album makes me feel like I'm a teenager in the late 2000s, who's incredibly online, addicted to Smosh, spends most of his time browsing cheeseburger.com all day, and has a very unhealthy obsession with acronyms. It's a good thing this album slaps through and through, so all of that just adds to the experience, really.
To get crazy, table dancing, smashing glasses, it starts to get...
Yeah, this thing in my head bopping from start to finish. Sure, some tracks aren't all that developed, and it's pretty dated by today's standards, but I can't doubt how ahead of its time this album feels, especially for 1977. I was expecting to be kinda neutral in this thing, considering how dated it sounds, but I'm just too easy. This thing still bops like crazy. To say it doesn't even do that would be a terrible lie. My IQ is probably way too low to understand this, but for what it is, it's pretty. Worth a listen. The snare on Destroy Everything You Touch is absolutely unreal. Oh wait, there's 11 other tracks on this thing? I've always been a fan of Portishead's work. I mean, Dummy is one of my all-time favorite albums. This album sounds nothing like Dummy with the more electronic and rock-driven direction, but man, they pull this sound off so well. Like, how do you make a song like Machine Gun and not flex about it to everyone you meet? I certainly would. I've also always been a sucker for music that sounds like it came straight off an iPod Nano, and Speak For Yourself is no exception to that at all. Some of these, especially Headlock, are some of the prettiest bops to ever bop. Some of these, especially Hide and Seek, make me want to disassociate from society and lie on the ground and contemplate my existence. Oh my god, the detail on this album. Yeah, this thing's amazing. Absolutely great. best emo albums. This thing's incredible. I really wanted to like this. I'll give more of Peep's music a shot in the future, but this combination of his emo voice and these somber trap beats, well, I do respect the combination, just doesn't really work for me. These lyrics could literally just be vows and I wouldn't be surprised. And considering it only adds to one of the dreamiest albums I've ever heard, I'm absolutely not complaining. Besides, yeah, this thing is just brilliant. These sparse compositions, Scott's deep anxious vocals, the way it uses its sounds, it just never fails to grip me start to finish. I didn't need to sleep, it's all good, it's all cool. Quite possibly the definition of vibing in album form. I mean, Lord Quas isn't any rap extraordinaire or anything, but I can excuse that just due to how enjoyable this is from front to back. I also really enjoyed the production from Madlib on this album, an entirely different person with zero connection to the MC whatsoever. On paper, this collab sounds really cool. One of sludge metal's most beloved acts and a prominent member of early Swans on an album together? Hell yeah, sign me up! And I mean, sure it works, but I just can't say it results in anything all that interesting in my opinion. A lot of it just feels like it's building up to something that never actually happens, and it really just feels like, whoa, atmosphere, for an hour straight. I will give it this though, Erase is incredible. That one gets a mega thumbs up from me. Alright, here we go. The Velvet Underground's White Light, White Heat pretty much turned my brain into sludge. Somehow the crappy recording quality and feedback actually helps the sound, and it all feels very... No, not saying it. It might have been more mind-blowing back then, but the sheer musicianship and avant-garde nature of this album really impressed me, and considering when it was made, it all just feels very... good. That's what I meant to say. Man, I actually went an entire Velvet Underground review without saying it was ahead of its time. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and, really? Turns out, my house was, right there the entire time. Well, I kinda wasted a bit of time. Now I've got sunburns and itches everywhere. How delightful. Oh well, might as well go outside. I'm a Rachel music user after all.